Hey there, guys. Happy Thursday. So, I'm going to start these Facebook Live series to explain a little bit more about how I can help you guys solve your problems. So, let's say you have low back, that pain that kind of comes and goes, but it really holds you back from going that extra mile on a hike, or popping into a yoga class with a new teacher because you're not really sure what the outcome might be, type of thing. What we do here in the clinic, answer frequent yoga questions I get in classes and in the clinic. So if you do have questions, you can comment below, you can message them to me. I'll try to sprinkle them into these Facebook Lives. And then also what I would love is I'm going to start, you remember about 6 months or so ago, for a good solid year and a half, I was doing interviews on Facebook Live, and I got a lot of positive feedback from them because I would sprinkle them into the newsletter and on social media channels. And time kind of got away from me, and some of you know I just have this tendency to do a lot, which I love. I just have a lot of ideas. But I'd like to bring them back, and my thought is to do it via podcast. So if you're a health professional, a fitness professional, yoga teacher, physical therapist, MD, anyone that has a passion for health and wellness and helping others stay healthy and active as they age, and you would like to share your material, you can message me, comment below, and I'm starting to schedule out interviews, and then stay tuned for the podcast. But today's question is about what style of yoga is best. And this is a tricky question because as a yoga practitioner, I've been practicing now for almost 2 decades. I've tried most styles of yoga. I won't say I've tried them all because I definitely haven't, and there's always new styles cropping up and modifications and variations and all this sort of thing. So what I have learned, though, from having a very vigorous practice in my 20s, going through a cesarean, colon surgery, cancer, disc injury, back injury, nerve pain, healthy, all these different phases of my life, I've tried different styles. And for me, the most important thing was listening to my body. So when I was in my 20s, I really loved the Ashtanga practice. I would get on the mat and really sweat it out, and it's a great way to burn off energy and stress. But then when I was pregnant, that definitely was not the best style of yoga for me, especially because I'm hypermobile, and with all those pregnancy hormones coming about, stability and slowing things down was best. So I practiced more of the Iyengar style of yoga, and that really served me well. And as I got into more of the healing modalities of yoga, the therapeutic styles of yoga, I've definitely incorporated that a lot into my daily practices. But still, some days I love to get on the mat and sweat it out. So the style of yoga, in my opinion, there isn't one that trumps all the rest. And of course, if you talk to an Iyengar yogi, they're going to say their style of yoga is best. You talk to Ashtangi, they're going to say their style is best. In my mind, it really depends on what your body, what your mind needs on a given day. So let's talk through it. Let's say you wake up, you had a busy week, you were traveling, you had a lot of work, so you were stressed out, a lot of meetings, sitting time at the desk, commuting time on the plane, in the car, in a hotel room, so sleeping kind of funky. You've got kids, a busy schedule, but you really just need to get your heart rate going. You need to burn off some of that stress. You need to sweat it out. Then hopping into, a hot 60 class or an Ashtanga style class, while listening to the body during those practices, that might be the best thing for you, because you just need to get moving because you are sitting and you have all this tension kind of building up in the body. However, let's take the opposite side of the scale. For example, when I was healing from my colon surgery, the surgery itself wasn't too crazy, but however, I did have to respect what my body was going through, and I was just practicing pranayama, the breath work and meditation, for the first couple weeks, and then most of my practice for a good 8 weeks was just lying down on my back and doing poses with a strap and gentle twists and gentle movements, a lot of restorative postures using blocks and blankets, slowly easing into the practice with the yoga wall, because that's what I really needed. And gradually over time, I would then bring in standing poses. And that kind of leads me to the next question of like how to know when to bring in standing poses. And when you're doing down dog or standing poses, what's the alignment supposed to be like? So stay tuned. I am releasing a membership site in October that's has some foundational videos that, for example, goes over down dog, what ideally you would like your alignment to be like in down dog. If you're looking for a restorative practice, do this type of practice. And it's also going to have monthly themes, so practices for core stability, practice for traction, all that sort of stuff. So it's a combination of many years of training and practices all brought together in one space, so then essentially you can listen to your body and decide what it needs on a given day, and then choose a practice dependent upon that. So that comes back to the original question of how to decide what style of practice is for you. And it really just depends upon your ability to listen to your body, which is a whole other question, because you just have to be careful of those filters too, of like knowing what you might be avoiding, which is healthy to avoid, and maybe if it's rest what you need, or if you really need to get more strength and stability and sweat, making sure you're not avoiding that just because you don't like it. So that's a whole other conversation. But if you have questions on what style of yoga is best for you, you can always drop a comment below or send me a message. I'm happy to help. If you are a teacher and you're trying to decide what style of yoga to teach, I think the same thing is true. I teach a few different styles of yoga, and I know that for me, variety is best, and overloading on hot classes is too much for my body. But if I only teaching therapeutic style, I really miss teaching those fun, vigorous classes where people are really sweating it out and laying their heart out on the mat, and that sort of style as well. I think the most important thing, if you're going to teach yoga, is that you're practicing whatever style you're teaching, and have practiced it. Why can I not say that? And you have practiced it for a long period of time before you teach it to others, and that's relative, right? But a good 6 months, year, couple years of practicing it consistently, like a few times a week, before you're going to start to teach it to the others, because then the way you teach comes from your experience of feeling it in your body, that embodiment of your experiences with the training that you've learned from others, and that is a very powerful combination to pass on to others. So I really personally make sure I'm only going to teach what I practice and do, whether that be yoga or anything else in my life. So that's today's message. Again, if you want to be interviewed for a podcast, then you can always reach out to me. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, so you can always throw them my way. Have a great Thursday. Bye.